2020 was a year one could never have predicted. So as you look into 2021, what kind of year are you expecting? That's question one. And number two, how did you blunt the impact of 2020? What did you do to be able to keep your stock on the plus side, but blunt the impact of this year?
Well, Tyler, thanks for having me. CBRE is a very diversified commercial real estate services and investment company. Yes, we're exposed to office buildings, retail centers, and hotels to a degree, but we also have big exposure to data centers, industrial and distribution centers, multifamily financing, project management, lots of things that have held up quite well. Our earnings stream has been far more resilient than people expected, and that's really what you're seeing in our stock. And as far as what we expect to happen in the industry next year, some of these asset types that are under pressure will start to clearly come back meaningfully after we get a vaccine and see the effects of that. Office buildings, people will go back to work. Retail centers, retail buildings will start to see better occupancy. Yes, there's going to be stress for 2 or 3 years, but a very, very different picture after we have a vaccine.
But as you segment those market slivers that you just described, we just put a chyron, what we call a chyron, up on the screen, indicating that the office centers, the retail, the hotels may come back a little bit slower than the multifamily part of your business and the industrial part, which would be not only data centers, but I'm sure some manufacturing, but a lot of warehousing.
A lot of warehouse, Tyler, and there's no comeback on warehouse. It's been a record activity level on that throughout the COVID period for the most part. Data centers are super strong, so that you're not talking about comeback in those asset classes. You're talking about continued strength. Yes, comeback in multifamily, which has returned pretty significantly. But we think by the second half of next year, you'll see much more activity in office buildings, and then into the next year, hotels and retail. So it is a mixed story, but it definitely pieces of the market with secular tailwinds and other pieces of the market with secular headwinds introduced by COVID.
Let me get you a 30-second answer on the future of the office. Are companies going to reduce their footprints? How much less office space is going to be out there in demand 5 years from now than now?
You'll see a hybrid scenario, Tyler. Lots of returning to the office. We think 80+% of that occupancy, if not more, will come back. But there'll be remote working, flex space. They'll be working from home. Right. And there'll be new and creative things happen in the use of office space. That's for certain.
Bob Sulentic, have a great season here. We'll see you next year. Good luck. Continued good wishes to you.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.